Quick, like and subscribe in the next 4 seconds if you want good luck every day this week.
So, recently just got a competitive warning for collusion/teaming in this game, which is just completely false. This whole game, me, Bugha, Nosh were all shooting and fighting each other, and these replays will show the facts that we actually were. So right here, Bugha launch pads, and he literally just sprays me in the back for 100. Sprays me again. And then he just goes into zone. This is the clip from the stream proving he was deafened this whole time. Also proving the fact that he knows this is my skin. And this was not planned. The banner skin is my skin. I wear this skin all the time. Multiple pro players have their own skins. And every Fortnite player knows this is true.
Little duck control the baby owl.
Sold me the same clip. Okay. Okay, so here's Nosh. Also, who was deafened. Not exchanging info. Fighting Bugha right now. Hit him for 100. He's low. Bugha shockwaves away. Hits him again. This guy's here, so he fights him now. Whatever. He's boxed up now. Colazo jumps in his box. He's dead. Let's look at my point of view. I know that's caddy loot. Heard a shotgun shoot, so I'm like, okay, that kid's probably low. I heard shotgun shoot, shield crack, kid's probably low. I'm on controller right here with the gold P90, so I try and jump in because I want kids loot. Lose the fight. GG. Okay, this is Bugha's stream POV. To prove that he was deafened the whole time, we did not exchange information. He shoots me right there. And then, you know, just boxes up. And then here comes the big Colazo with his controller.
What?
He's dead.
This is the shit I'm saying. Like,
and then I push up. He's still deafened.
Bro, shit on this kid.
Okay, he undeafens right there. I'm already in the box shooting him as he undeafens. He undeafens to tell me to shit on him because he knows it's my skin. I made my own decision to jump into the box. I was not pressured or did it because Bugha told me to. And then I died.
No! Oh my god.
Great game, Bugha, a World Cup champion.
Hey, Fortnite Moments fans! Want more V-Buck giveaways? Make sure to use code BEAST in the item shop. And we'll continue to give out redemption codes just like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out.
Thank you so very much, Zeke. Sundown, and of course Shia Wager breaking down all the action, getting us caught up to that leaderboard. Stowe with the 24 points now, coming in to the beginning of what is the halfway mark. The first time in a long while, you guys get to see the map. Check out how all the players are landing on the field here. Surprisingly, the censor's kind of light on population.
The center is light in population. Production, can we leave this up for a little bit? Because this is so helpful right now. We can see kind of, again, we have 3 of those players going the new POI, going in the coral area in that top kind of northwest section. But yeah, you're right. It's very, very relaxed in the middle. We have only 1 person at Salty, which is quite interesting. Not a massive POI, but one that's quite often fought over. But everyone's spread out pretty thin here. Only 1 person at Steamy Stacks. I'd have to try and figure out who that is, because that is a very big advantage if they keep that to themselves right now. But in these stack tournaments, especially NA East, these guys practice all the time. They verse each other a lot. They are very prone to trying not to drop on each other and give themselves the best chance. As we see, yes, that little purple arrow I think has to be Bugha at Rickety Rig by himself, Monster. So I think he was just hitting that full Akram rotate last game.
That's what I was going to say. There's no surprise as to seeing Bugha in the top 10, 9th place right now. Only 2 eliminations, but placement going in his favor route after route. It's probably because he has that Rickety Rig on lock right here. If you guys haven't watched Arkham Breakdowns, I highly suggest you guys go do it. If you want to see what really beautiful rotates look like, just check it out, man. He absolutely is the peak of Deadside, and he takes advantage of it. But hold up, though. Back to the action. It's Little Will. He's trying to get into an early game fight right now. He's been aggressive every time we've tuned in with him, Aussie.
Yeah, Lee Will's putting out some serious damage, but he's hit this player for whites too, but that was the Shockwave launcher too. That is a very, very important note right now. That was a very big audible cue of this is Shockwave launcher, and you've hit him for whites. Lee Will is not letting this player get away because he wants that, and there it is. I was talking about it last game. Can you hold on to the Shockwave launcher? That is the question, and no, for Brian here today, he cannot, and now it goes in the hands of Lee Will, and someone that you just noted on is an aggressive player. There is nothing better to have in your back pocket if you're being aggressive than the Shockwave launcher.
Yeah, man, it allows you to enter into boxes, exit out of boxes. It is literally a master key style weapon. Kid's Mythic Shockwave is where it's at when it comes down to Fortnite competitive right now. But either way, we're seeing people pull through consistently without it. Stowe in particular is at 24 points in the competition right now just through his consistency, right? And we're talking players like Keox who had a lot of success early on. Let's see what Stowe can do here now. He has to round out this loadout.
He does. It's finding those drop spots that have that rounded out loadout too. It's having those drops that you can consistently get the items you need. And obviously Caddy Corner's having those peppers, and there it is. He finds 4 of them now as well. It's a great drop because it does have a lot of those nom spawns, which is like the kind of, I don't know, food crates, I guess you call them. When you break them, you can get those peppers, and they are so, so important because usually the player that drops Caddy Corner carries away that Caddy launcher. You touched on in the end game, last game monster. There's so many good things you can carry right now. It really is a very diverse loot pool, and you get to kind of find your personal style on what are you going to prioritize. Do you want 2 to 3 meds? Do you want more mobility? What do you want to carry? And Stowe finding that he wants to carry peppers, and he's finding them consistently at Caddy, which is getting him consistently to those end games.
On the other hand, you have the variety loadout from Kanata, which is the splashes, crash pad combo. We're seeing the rise in popularity of tactical shotguns for these crash pad style hybrid loadouts. The entry for the tactical is just so dominant with the crash pad. But Kanata's got something to worry about. It's a player up there.
I think that elimination that Kanata lost early on to Pandush in game 1, I think he was feeling the burn. I think that charged shotgun just wasn't feeling as comfortable with him. Kanata, we've talked about how good...
No!
Oh,
no!
That one hurts anyone. Casual or competitive Fortnite fan, watching something like that hurts everyone to watch. Kanata holds up for 1 shot, and Felix just lurking inside that bridge. No way for Kanata to know he was there or to see him. And he gets taken out with the green hunting rifle. And now he gets to get all that loot and a massive upgrade. And Kanata has now gone down with 2 0-point games now after coming top 5 yesterday.
It's so rough because Kanata is arguably one of the greater solo players. Like, as of late, he's just been on a terror playing through the game here. And there's a new strategy with the crash pad that we've seen popularized by Martos here. We spoke about this yesterday. Being able to exit into the box at a new clean angle that doesn't distort your shot. KJ Rop actually made that look too easy. And go ahead, Ozzy. Break it down for players if they don't understand how to set this up. Is this the easiest one to do?
I think it is. That panning shot does it perfectly. Thank you, Obs team. You see there, he put the ramp outside the cone and the floor, and if you throw the crash pad onto that ramp, it'll break the floor and the cone and drop you into the box. So Monster talked about it perfectly there. The distorted shot. When people try to use the crash pad to go through a wall into the box, quite often they have to have a really good reaction time and really good aim to kind of flick back and figure out where the opponent is because everything gets thrown around so much. If you do that that exploit there, you kind of throw the ramp on the wall and you go down into the box. You don't have to throw any builds up. You just drop straight in and you can get straight onto their head and you have that clean shot. And it closes out fights quickly. It is a very, very clean way to close out a fight.
Let's see how Stowe's going to set this one up, though, as we just talked about different ways to set up the fight here. He's got everything he needs to make the best of this one. He's looking to set up the angle, like the choke point, the cutoff there, to make sure he's got this enemy nice and trapped. He's going to make sure his weapons are ready for action as well. This is the distorted type of shot that we're looking for right here. When you send that crash pad straight in, it really does send you flying. So that can backfire either which way. On the other side, though, still looks like he's actually struggling to figure out how he's going to break into this. He doesn't realize he was just a little low below the elevation. There's the 180. So having to fully turn now, he's going to get rewarded with the biggest loadout of the game here. That means he snatched it straight off of the hands of the person that picked it up from Smelly Brian off the start.
And it's worth pointing out, remember, Stowe is in first place, so you now have first place with the Shockwave launcher in hand. He's now going to use it to push forward here. This player gets stuck here trying to go into the vault. A little bit greedy, wants to pick up that extra loot that was lurking in the vault, but Stowe was lurking deeper in the field, and he has caddy corners on lockdown right now.
What a massive comeback for him, because Bryant ran away with the loadout, right? He ran away with the mythic weapons, but to have him just come back and deliver to him has got to be a feels good man for Stowe right now, because he converted on 2 massive elims as well.
Yes, it's that Vault keycard as well. Quite often when players leave early on with the Shockwave launcher, they come back for the loot that is in that Vault. It is a lot of loot, and sometimes, even though you know there might be a player lurking and waiting for you, it's just too tantalizing to avoid. But Stowe, the Shockwave launcher, comes back home to caddy corners, and now it's in his hands. And I think the first time today we've seen him have it too. So he was currently in first place without having used it too. So this is going to be a big boost to his speed right now.
Definitely a boost in his confidence as well. And you guys just saw the format there fly by for a second. It's a single point per elimination. This is game 3. We're deep into the action right now. What's at stake here is your spot towards the heats, right? These players need to finish top 50. So a player like Trap Killed with 20 points is sitting strong on the leaderboard here in 3rd place right now. It's about a 3-way tie, though, from 3rd to 6th. So just showing you how close the competition is from 3rd to 5th place, that it's anyone's game. If you're in that upper, I'd say 10-plus point range, top 10 is in striking distance for you.
It is, and it's worth pointing out as well, for those of you who maybe missed the pre-show where we went through the kind of format of this one. Obviously, players who get top 50 are going to qualify straight through to the heats. There are 4 different days this is going to happen for in the FNCS qualifiers. The rest of the lobby, the other half, is going to qualify through consistency points. So these players who are consistently making finals and consistently playing well, but just falling short of that top 50, still have a chance to go into the FNCS heats as well. So keep an eye on them. There are names that are going to resurface. It's not just about that top 50. It's about, can you play out all 4 days as best as possible?
Absolutely. So players like Stretch, who might have missed day 1 but made it through to day 2, these are massive improvements, massive strides in making their way towards the heats for grand finals. But back into the action, we're tuned in right now. We're dialed into zone 2. The pace of this game already at a much different track, right? We have a lot less players in the run right now. Talking about Stretch and Bugha, they actually rank 2nd and 3rd for the most FNCS finals win at 19 and 17. Guess who's in first here, Ozzy?
Yeah, we're looking first right now. They're going up, and there's a Bugha's on the eyes on Bugha now. He's going to try and make something from it too, and they're doing really, really well. I know Shayo, obviously, Bugha now popularized as Stretch's teammate, but they were such a dynamic duo. But now they're here. They're going face to face, and who can come out on top? Stretch came out on top, obviously, in the DreamHack final. So Bugha need to kind of stamp his mark on there, as maybe as the not Stretch's teammate needs to break out a little bit. Obviously, Sundown commenting it is our World Cup winner, but in the world of Fortnite, there are new players on the come up constantly. You have to be on top of your game. You miss out on a few different places, a few different tournaments, and people will take your mantle.
Absolutely. And you can see there, we have a nice, great shot of the map here, giving you guys the idea of how this is all going to play out. It's favoring Southwest now. So with Bugha here in Slurpy Swamps, he's got a very strong position to capitalize on getting this material together like he's doing right now, and then just play later into the game. You think about it as a time sink, right? You're safe if you're within the builds, within the structure, but you're also gaining something for it. It's all the material count right here. But there's a player up above, so it's not completely safe. It's not all roses here in the field. He's got to be careful to not get hit by the thorns now. He's taking his time. It's posed up above. But to answer, or the question that I posed earlier, Zayt actually has the most wins overall in NAEs for FNCS finals.
I was so close, but I was like, I don't want to get it wrong. I'll let Monster field this one. I was like, I know what he's going for, but if I say it wrong, I'm going to get clowned so hard. But of course, it is definitely Zayt, the king himself.
Yeah, Zayt's up there, man. You know, he's got it going on. He always, it's crazy. He gets into grand finals and he somehow, wriggles his way into top 5. It's why between Zayt, between players like Aqua, right? These are players that are easily in some of the best in the world, and for good reason as well. But okay, Hexy looking to take some walls now. It's a compact on the other side. We know the dangers of a compact SMG, that high fire rate in the hands of a player like Miro can be something to be worried about. But Miro hasn't been having quite the day. I wonder if he's looking to turn things around. this Lady Luck, is the fortune going to be in his favor right now? Playing a lot more passively than the previous game. This time he lets the opponent come to him and still, no, he falls short. 15 HP, that's one shot from the compact he needed.
Yeah, Miro not having his day today, and that's what we see. We see that story of developing a lot with those aggressive players that go for those high elimination games. Reminds me of players like Unknown Army. It's a very kind of big hit or miss day for them. Do they pick up those eliminations that they're constantly seeking for, or do those extra fights they keep taking, or often forcing to, they take those fights with less advantages than other players? We saw Cease earlier just kind of taking every fight only if he had a massive advantage in the fight, but Miro falls again, but he can drop some big eliminations, so that's the other thing. You can never count them out. One or two big games and they're straight back up there as COD Genesis trying to get into this Slurpee Storms. Does he take the wall? He doesn't, so he has to back out now. But that player inside there got shot from somebody else. There's a lot of sightlines on this fight. This is definitely a third-party affair.
This is going crazy right here. I'm just trying to absorb who's going to open the wall first. Okay, it's charge v charge with the right camera angle, the textbook. Bye-bye, Turkus from COD Genesis with the drop kick through the window, making it look nice and easy. We call that a sweet chin music around my parts. That was too nice for him. One whole point for COD Genesis.
Yes, again, it's those players that are a bit aggressive and they'll back themselves. It's interesting seeing this zone. We haven't seen Slurpee play into things for quite a while. Slurpee obviously only fully emerged from the water last week, so an endgame we haven't seen so far in this season, and maybe an endgame that'll throw kind of a spanner in the works for some of these newer players who maybe aren't as adept at playing through there. There's a lot of spare shield lying around as well, which is massive, but with the removal of a lot of the vehicles around the map with the storyline on Fortnite right now, metal is one of the hardest materials to find right now, and one of the materials that's the most sought after, but Slurpee has your big refresh on that. So a lot of players, you're going to see this endgame be quite stacked. It's going through buildings. It's going through buildings that have excess shield, and it's going through buildings that have excess hard materials. So this endgame is going to be very, very stacked.
It's looking that way after having such a fast track to kick it off, right? With how many players fell, there was no storm surge in sight, but all of a sudden things are really starting to gather together. The atmosphere is starting to become more and more dense. It's going to be really hard to breathe soon for these players coming in nice and late here. And I'm just looking off class here, just trying to see if he can catch a free shot. Now, remember, there is one player in the bush there, and yes, the shots are going to open up, so this is the indicator to class to also fire from the opposite side. He's going to find ritual there without a single issue. But it's whoever was in that bush that did the majority of the work.
That's a rough one as well, just rotating on through. But again, we've seen a lot of those players that do have that competitive experience checking the bushes. It's a bit of lapse of judgment there. That's not just all luck. That is something that unfortunately Virtual could have done a little bit better, or a Ritual, sorry. But he was dropping at Authority, and that's who we saw go down to Cease the first two games. And I think he's changed up his drop spot and still not finding any purchase. But again, there are 4 rounds of this. It's all a learning experience. This FNCS is a great way for these newer players to get this experience in against these stacked players and learn from their mistakes like that one there. That is a very easy mistake that he can now fix and take forward into next week's games, or even the final 3 games today.
Absolutely here, but whole minute on the clock now. So he's going to have to make this rotate. Zone 4, it's going to be a pivotal situation for a player like Class right now. He's at 20 points. He's got to get in it. He doesn't have mobility to get there, so this could be one of 2 things this rotate can play out for him, right? He can either end up blazing through his material count because he gets targeted for rotating at the wrong, untimed time, or he can get there and be A-okay for this endgame. Let's see. He goes with the early rotate. 30 seconds till the zone forces players out, and this is going to work out for him. So the fear here is getting shot, obviously, from the players that were sitting behind, but those that are also parked up, and Class just masterfully times it. It's just going to work, right? Sometimes it just works, but wait a second. Joji lands flying in with the Hadouken from up above. He hits him for 100. My gosh. Just when you thought it was safe, clean, and perfectly timed, he just gets hit for all of his shield.
Class does get in though, and it was a classy rotate from Class. A lot of players scared to make that early rotate because they're scared of getting beamed up. But the later you rotate, if it does get to the point where you get focused now, like this player that it looks like Class is setting up for, you have a lot less room to work with. You have a timer pushing you into zone. You can't go slow, and there it is, proving to Kaz, who is also a competitive veteran in his own right, who was waiting for that mobility, that the early rotate was definitely the play here.
And just like that, player is erased from the lobby. Just shows you how much Fortnite game sense really matters, right? Your timing is probably going to save you the most more often than not. So studying your gameplay, studying your times, rotates are going to play a huge mark. Another timing situation here is Pose deciding when and where to take this battle. This is going to end up going in his favor really quickly. Fights that get drawn out in this zone can turn to disaster really quickly, but ending them quick and easy allow you to pick up the mats and continue to move on. On the other hand, though, we have Bugha. Bugha, 9th place last we checked in. He slipped behind, though, if you think about it, because other players have found elims.
One thing I'm looking for is Storm Surge right now. There are 6 players above Storm Surge right. There's 6 people that are right now getting, as you said, the Storm God's Wrath. The lightning bolts are going to be falling, and not only do they take damage, it is a massive indicator for every player nearby. You know that someone is getting taken 25 damage every second. You need to try and capitalize on that, and I think that's what Bugha's doing here. He has found these players that are unfortunately below the Storm Surge threshold, and there it is. It clears out the lobby very quickly as soon as Storm Surge goes active, and we are back down below 50, and now all these players have just gained 1 placement point 2, which is so crucial, and Bugha has a very crucial rotate ahead of him. Does he use the crash pads? Does he use the launch pad? But he is looking so good. That guaranteed launch pad out of Rickety Rig is so important for these stacked endgames. It is instrumental to, I believe, Arkham's success, and now Bugha here taking up his mantle with the same drop spot.
That's right. It gives you the free half in, half out. It gives you the free zone 6 rotate if you're even luckier at that point. So this time around, the launch pad being used here is going to find his nice safe nook here. Sets up a little 2x1 situated base, giving him a little bit of protection and backing. But now it's time to play for this end game. This is where things are going to get real interesting. I see Gabe lighting up the feed. Gabe had a phenomenal day yesterday, edging his way out into top 10. I saw Acorn still alive. I see clicks on Heights here. And just to get you guys all caught up, this is game 3, right? We're in the halfway mark now. This is where players, the leaders, start to solidify their placement and their way to the top. But no one is safe. As fast as you made it this far, it's as fast as you can fall behind. So consistency is going to be the name of the game right now.
There's a lot of pressure on those names at the top. DreamHack Finals, usually the most stacked lobbies we've seen recently, with also the Bugha Cup too. But this format so far, we are seeing leave a much, much closer margin at the top. It comes down to the last game for almost every round of every region. So it's going to be the halfway mark, but there's no one's stake here once they make it. But Stowe, as we last checked in, had the Mythic Shockwave launcher, and he was in first place. If he is still in that position, he is looking very good here. Is trap killed on the high ground, has a bit of mobility, finds his opponent. He had the extra build steal here. Sticks goes down, trap killed, just having that memory, that knowledge that he owns those builds, and drops down and gets a very easy but very smart elimination. And Click sitting above him, now knowing there is a shark beneath him, and probably does not want to mess with that fight at all.
What a massive mistake not to secure the builds behind you. You know he's going to be beating himself up after that one. Here's Azers, though, who's on fire right now, playing the floppers in the zone. Wait a second, though. He's going to get tagged by someone who decided to stay back late. Hold up. If he gets tagged one time, it's all over, but he's going to find what he needs here. And just like that, he does have an opportunity to flop. Will he be able to grab the shields, though, on the way out? This is what matters most now. And no, I think he juggled out the big shield on accident, so he's going to have to do that as it catches up here. Yes, he does manage to eat the flop and hit the air just in time. 30 HP, 2 big pots in the inventory. That's going to need 10 seconds to fully capitalize and heal now. There is not the wall, or the wall behind him wasn't his, so still not completely safe here. On the other side, Bugha already making his first way through to this rotate. He's already into the safety of the zone, trying to get even closer now, though. Changing elevation as well, playing a lot less of a dangerous zone. Walks into the build of another enemy now, and Cone controls it, but nothing's going to come from it.
Bugha playing those higher layers as well. It might be because of those 3 crash pads. He wants to stay up a little bit higher, so he has that elevation to try and get up. He needs to get up and over these builds, and there it is. If he's down in those lower layers, he can't do the play he just did, but almost falls into the box of another opponent and gets the shot through and takes him down. Bugha picking up a big elimination on Texter. So right now we're seeing some big names falling in the feed. Coop went down again. Age is still in this after that sketchy rotate we saw earlier, but Bugha, all eyes on him as he's trying to make his way through here with good material, good meds, and good mobility, as Bork's just picked up 3 eliminations in the feed, if I saw that correctly. That must have been a massive collateral or something, as Bugha comes through and hits a 42 shot in the back, still prioritizing these higher layers, looking in a really, really good spot as he hits the solo taps and tries to save what little mats he has left. But 48 could be enough to close this one out without even a refresh if he plays it smart.
It's looking very likely, and for someone like Box too, let's not forget he finished in the 90s yesterday, so he's on to a good start here, especially after dropping in the first 2 runs. Will this game 3 be the game that at least solidifies his way back up to the top? From someone who's qualified 2 days in a row, made it this far where others could not. On the other side, though, Bugha, 24 points and already nearing the top 20 as well. This is looking like a very nice run for him here. The crash pads, nicely done as well. Just inching his way out, putting himself in the best positions to capitalize on the players on height. Hold up. He's putting some shots up. He's not going to find much, though.
He's looking to keep hitting these rotates. He's doing so well with his crash pads. This high ground player must be getting so irritated. Bugha is like a fly that he just can't swat. It was Stowe. Stowe was in first place and he goes down. And now Bugha has the shockwave launcher in his hand, proving that it can be beaten. You can overcome it with incredible players here. Bugha using those crash pads to jump up against another elimination. A beautiful shot. Bugha has some of the best aim in the game. This mythical charge shotgun is going to be put to use here. Not just the shockwave launcher, as Bugha commands this high ground. We've seen this before. Bugha is on his throne right now. He is on the high ground. Can he jump up into first? He wasn't in the tournament yesterday. He needs to stamp his authority on this game, and looks like he's got the loadout to do it. But 4 builds monster, he is running low right now.
Kit's Mythic Shotgun can do so much damage. You saw it hit for 100 just a second ago. But hold up, now he has the Shockwave Launcher as well to back him up. So this is the perfect loadout here to secure the Victory Royale. And all he has to do is continue to maintain the pressure and send these players flying. With the material count, though, so low, this is desperate. Even Bugha, the World Cup champion, is in not a free position, not just yet. He needs the shot, and yes, he's going to find it. One more left now. He's going to try and send this player out. He takes massive amounts of fall damage, though. Can he send this player going? Yes, there it is. Now, 3 ticks in the zone. Fall damage might be the difference, and yes, he's going to fall. He takes himself out. No.
Bugha goes down to fall damage. Felix on 10 health. One more tick would have done it. He manages to throw this one, but a second place with that many eliminations is huge, and he took down first place, so eyes were up there again as well. That was a ridiculous game to break down. Bugha might be just back in the lead, but we're going to have to throw it over the analyst desk so they can break it down because there was too much action there. Zeke, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ozzy. Great game. Bugha, a World Cup champion, almost clutches it up there. Those builds made such a big difference. When he got that elimination right there at the end, that player didn't have any builds, or maybe there was builds that fell off the side there. You hate to see. He did get that shockwave play with Kit's launcher, but I guess at the end of the day, man, fall damage will still get us all. Huh, Sundown?
I mean, Myth and Tim the Tatman know it's best. Bugha eating a lot of it right there. Unable to utilize and pick up that siphon drop right at the very end. Wasn't able to tag the mats, as you said, or use the shockwave on himself to catch some of that damage. Again, we talk about Fortnite being just the game of execution, the highest mechanical skill possible. A game of literal inches or 2 HP in some circumstance there. And Felix being the benefactor of that one.
You're tossing a little bit of a heat in the pot there, Sundown, towards Tim and Myth, but it's all good, you know. We're staying cooking today. That game, though, was hot fire. It was really good to see these guys go all the way to the top and have such a unique ending to end things off with Felix there, Zeke.
Man, you got all this hot talk, man. Suddenly I'm just really hungry, and I'm sure you guys watching are too. I mean, you know what we should do? We should toss it over to Chef Shayo and Sundown, who prepared a 3-course meal for us. Take it away.
All right, we shall. Let's get right into the cooking show featuring Fortnite and look at all the delicious appetizers, entrees, and desserts we have from the last game. To start things off, a slice of pizza with kiosks over at Caddy, and wow, what a delicious one it was. Nice and cheesy, but also burnt on the sides. The henchman slightly overcooking that slice, making him get a smoky aftertaste right there.
Cheesy being the word for it, the triple dink coming out there, but I'm in for something a little spicier as we hop on over to our entree, which is all of these eliminations that really make up the meat of our mid game. You can see clicks there with the pepper running, utilizing again that brilliant stair flip edit, and we talk about him being one of the best box-to-box fighters. You can see him putting that on display with all of these eliminations. Another player who has done incredibly well in terms of the mid-game eliminations, Stowe, forcing into the box here just like he would if he's looking to try and find a burger at the end of the day. You know, right when you're starving, just trying to pick up whatever elims, going for whatever he can find, using the caddy launcher to then close the distance right away and picking up his next meal, saying he wasn't done, coming back for seconds. I mean, sometimes that's what it's all about when you're cooking up a big entree. You want more and more, and we tend to see that particularly in the solos competitions across NE and EU, when you get one elimination, there's either another player coming to third party or someone else is drawn towards that ammunition, so they tend to happen in pairs. As Divine here cooks himself up a nice little inspiration on the side, trapping both Cease and Daxter on the edge of zone, making sure he preheated his oven there, got the tags, and Storm was able to kick it over. And as we said, where there's one Elin, there tends to be more on the edge of Storm, turning this into an absolute run from him. However, it will not quite end up being enough, as we saw right at the end, Bugha taking him down.
Yeah, that was a 3-for-1 hearty combo there from Divine, but I'm looking to wrap up this 3-course meal with some dessert. Felix, the winner from last game, does exactly that, starting off the base of this souffle by taking Kanata out with a nice sniper shot. You cannot let that man rest slow, because that's what ends up happening. Felix, though, moves on to add a little bit of icing onto the entire base we're seeing here for this amazing dessert. He gets a nice few pickups, and you know how this game ends up. Top 4, he's in the box, getting nice and whipped up for the cream that's going right on top of this magnificent overall meal we're about to eat. Revenge sometimes, and this dessert is best served ice cold. Bugha going down to fall damage. Felix, a cherry on top, an overall victory royale.
And that cherry certainly was not a maraschino one. It was bittersweet, and he'll take it, but no extra elimination point going from him. Bugha going down to the fall damage. That elimination he got right there at the edge of the storm, if he gets it 1 second later and takes one more tick of storm damage, he wouldn't have gotten that VR. It would have been Bugha who had that
dessert.
Sunday instead.
That was not dessert what I ate just right there. That didn't feel like dessert.